Okay, so this last video on lofts, we're going to look at a bit more complex loft, which combines the sort of three elements. We've the idea of a loft, so we've got two profiles going up on offset planes. We are going to have bars guides that are going to steer the way that the loft goes between the top and the bottom, and we're also going to look at the idea of vertices. Now, different software, so we get a twist. Different software does it in different ways. So, for example, Autodesk Inventor can do this slightly easier than the way I'm going to show you, but hey, I'm going to show you maybe some slightly more advanced ways of creating shapes, how we can create planes in different ways, and how we can use things like array tools to pattern our paths. So the model I'm actually making is this one here from the course textbook, which, if you see here, is a twisted hexagon, but it's slightly more than just a twisted hexagon because of this shape here. So let's have a look and see how it goes. So we will go with this one here. So here we have it. So we've got a hexagon at the bottom and at the top, but if you look, if I show you a view from the bottom, you can see that as well as a twist, it's actually bulging out to fill that kind of shape. So let's have a look at creating that part. So we're going to start with a hexagon that is 69 across flats. We're going to have another plane up here that is 80, and the top and bottom hexagons are in line with each other. It's just the corners that are rotated around. So here's my sketch hexagon. Let's draw that here. Polygon tool, and we want it to be, yeah, that's grand. Get a dimension on there of 69. Okay, so there we go, 69. Notice I made sure that there was horizontal, so it's gone black. So if I hadn't located that center there, it would still have been spinnable. So you need to make sure that you set that. So there's our first one. Next one, we're going to have a plane, and we're going to draw the plane 80. And on that top one, we're going to draw another sketch that is the same. So we're going to come out of here, and we're going to make that also 69. I'm going to make them just separate numbers in case at a later point I want to change rather than locking them together. So I've got my two sketches. Now let's just see what happens if we loft it. That one to that one. Okay, that's just like an extrusion. Let's do the vertices. We want it to be a twist. Which way? Right to left. So if I go from here to there, you'll see that so I've got my twist fine, but if I look at it from above, there's obviously no bulge. That bulge hasn't happened. Now, sometimes you can change the way that it starts and finishes so that you can make it come out at an angle. I've not managed to find out how to do that in Onshape. So I can change the way the line of this comes through at, the sort of angle it moves, but I can't make it come out the way. So I'm just going to cancel that, put that back to none. Okay, so I'm going to have to do it in a slightly different way. So I want a guide. So I'm actually going to create a rail that's going to go from this point to that point, but via a point out here that is the right distance away to create the curve. So if we look here, the sort of shape here actually is going to be touching the circle is touching the corners of the hexagon. So how am I going to do that? So let's just get rid of the loft to begin with. Like that. I need two things. I need my sketch in the middle, my circle, and then I need to create a plane that goes through the 3 points. So if I create a sketch in the middle, it's going to be offset of 40 because it's halfway between the top and the bottom. And I want a sketch on there, and I want a circle on there, and I want the circle to be going out to this point here. So if I can I do it on here or not? Yes, there we go. So I want it to go through the corner. So I've just used that constraint tool. So I've now got my 1 and 2. So I want my loft to go on a rail from there to there, but I want it to bulge out so it goes through a point here that is on the front plane. So it's going to be oops, I'll go to the top. It's going to go from the bottom corner to this top corner, but it's going to go via a point that is there. So I need to create that point. So if I draw a sketch on my front plane, and in fact all I can do, look, is I can just project that because it's that point there that I want. So I want to draw a line that goes, a curve that goes from there to there to there. So it's going to be a 3-point curve, but all those points are on a separate plane. They are not on a vertical plane or a horizontal plane. So I need to create a new plane. How on earth am I going to create a plane that goes through all those 3 points? Well, fortunately, one of our options for planes is a 3-point plane. So if I click that option and I click my bottom one there, and this one here, and that one there, it's going to create me a plane. I think I've missed one of the points off. So let's go to here, there, there, and there. There we go. So it's now, you can see it's put it in like it's going between those 3 planes. Sorry, those three points. So on that plane now, if I draw my sketch, I can draw a 3-point curve, 3-point arc, and I want to go between that one, and that one. It's gone black because it's locked to those 3 points, and that is the line that's going to take my loft from there to there. Great. But I need one from that corner to there, and that to there, and I actually need 6 of these, don't I? So am I going to create 3 planes and 3 sketches? I am not. What I'm going to do is I am going to create a sketch. I'm going to create a vertical line down the middle of my hexagon, and I am going to use the array tool, the radial array we would call it, circular pattern radial array, and I'm going to copy array that sketch 6 times around that center line. So that line there that I drew is right in the middle of my hexagon, look. So that's like the axis that they're all going to pivot around. I want a feature pattern, so that sketch I'm going to mirror, I'm going to array is a feature. So a feature pattern, features to pattern are sketch 5. You can select it here or you can pick it up there. And then the axis, click on that, is going to be that one I just drew, which is that one there. And I don't want 4, I want 6 of them. And if I do that, you'll see I've now got 6. I've got one of these little lines going up from all the edges. So now all I need to do is to loft it. So same as before, loft from the bottom to the top. And this time we're going to use the guides, and we're going to select each of these lines coming round our shape. Remember, if you pick up the wrong thing in the list, you can remove it. So you should have 6. Got an edge of a sketch there, is that right? I think that's okay. So let's see if that works. There, we've got it. So that is the shape. So we've got, if we look from above, we've got that circle. Yeah, if we look from at the front, we can see we've got that bulge coming out, and we've also got the twist going on as well. So that's how to create much more complicated shapes. So we've actually covered 3-point planes, and we also use the guide rails, and we've used a radial array to create all the rails that we needed for our shape. So if I was going to finish that shape now, I'd need to add this top extrusion and then create a shell with a wall thickness of 3 to finish that part off. Just as a point of sort of visuals, looking at it, it's quite messy because we've got all these elements on there. Over in the feature tree here, you can actually hide elements, sketches, Sketches that are consumed, so that they're used in a feature like a loft or what have you, tend to disappear, but if they've just been used as a reference point, then they'll still be visible, so you can hide them. So I'm just going to go through and hide and in fact if I do that as well, that's hidden all those sketches. So now I've got a much more easy to understand model that I can go ahead and finish. So that's probably the most kind of complicated shape you may ever be asked to make at this level. But that's how you would do it. So hopefully you may need to watch that a few times, but hopefully if I ask you to create that shape at some point in the future, you will be able to do that now. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that.